On this week's episode, our adventurers are separated and must use their strengths to get through their own personal challenges. Their path is filled with many strange obstacles that will lead them together on the path back again to their first challenge. What lies ahead as these three adventurers try uniting the people of Apcol? Find out today in this episode of Pokemon Totem.
It's like, you want to use your microphone as your speaker, yes? Like, no, I don't.
Right.
It's not gonna fucking work.
I have no freaking idea what that's all about.
I don't.
Okay, cool. Everything is recording. How are you?
Bien, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. This week was, I will tell you that this week was rough. It was just a long week.
Fucking same. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Are you guys done with midterms, or how's that?
I am. I don't know about Jesse, but I'm done.
Well, that's good.
Sort of. Like, I have a couple more tests, but it's like air quotes tests. The big one was today, but it's done.
But it's done. Yeah, exactly.
I don't even do it anymore.
Yeah, right.
Now that I can see through walls, I'm ready to talk about my character.
All right.
Close this window. I think my neighbors are weird. I don't want them to see into my room. Okay.
That is like the least worrisome thing, I think. You know, like that your neighbors are the weird ones.
I mean, I'm pretty weird, so if I'm this weird, then my neighbors are probably like serial killers.
They have to be like, yeah, exactly, like in like 12 steps ahead.
I don't want to fucking risk that. And they're rednecks too, so like it's
Oof.
like what do they call that? Like the hills have eyes kind of bullshit.
Exactly. Yeah.
In my room.
They got like fucking Deliverance over there, so no, fuck that.
Here.
All right. So last time we talked, y'all had separated ways with, and I don't even remember his name, Jacob.
Yeah.
Who just kind of talked to you, just kind of hung out with you.
I did.
And he went north. He's heading somewhere, and y'all are heading south, because you know that there's some kind of connection with the south and the lamps that are on the wall, which have been kind of flickering, and every once in a while you've been feeling some kind of vibrations too. So as y'all are walking south, it's a pretty normal day. And you get to the point where you're tired, y'all stop, y'all take a long rest, but when you wake up, you are alone with Glare. It's just you and Glare. And when you look at the entryway to where you guys had been walking from to the north, there's been a rock slide, and the entry is covered. There's one exit to this room. The lamps are still on the walls, and they're still pretty like half dim kind of thing, you know, they're not fully lit, but there is like this weird glowing coming from the passage across the cavern. And as you're, kind of waking up and you're getting attuned to everything, you hear a faint voice. It's really, really soft, and you can swear that they just said your name.
Do I recognize the voice?
Why don't you roll perception?
Okay. Oops.
Oh my.
Well, that wasn't good. 10.
You can tell it's a woman's voice, but that's all. It was, let me say, it was higher pitched, so you assume it's a woman's voice.
Did I just gender that voice?
Yeah. Oops. The voice's pronouns are he, her. Before we get any further.
Her?
Yes.
That's beautiful.
You could tell it's a female voice.
All right.
And you definitely could tell it's your name that it's calling. And it's not really calling, it's more like it's like a pretty normal volume. It just happens to be really, really far down inside the caves.
Can I follow it?
Absolutely.
I definitely want to follow it, even though that might be a bad idea.
Sure. You and Glare begin your walk. The hallway, like I said, as you get closer, it's a lot more. It's a lot brighter than all the lights you've seen so far. And so when you walk into this passageway, it's very, very bright. The lights are fully lit, and it's a lot thinner than the other walkways you've been through. It's about one person wide. Perfect for you and Glare. Glare's kind of hovering, a few inches above you, able to see right over your head. And again, you hear this voice calling out. Now, it is seeming to get a little more clear as you walk closer, but it's still hard to distinguish exactly what this voice is or who it is.
Will it respond if I call out to it?
You can try.
Hello. Who are you?
What
do you want? I'm afraid.
Up until this point, it had been carrying on a pretty steady cadence of saying your name. And now that you've responded, there's no response. Not even your name. It's not even saying your name anymore.
Oh, that's a little unsettling. But I will proceed anyway.
Okay. You continue on. And it's funny, you feel like you're making great strides. It just seems like time is really, really slow, but you seem to be making a lot of you've been walking very far, but it only feels like it's been a couple minutes. But it seems like every time you look back, the rocks are different. And you finally get to a point in the cave, you're pretty deep in, and you hear your name called. But this time, it comes as a question. You hear, Lettie?
Yes? Who's there? What do you want?
There's a few seconds of silence, and then you hear, Lettie.
Are you in trouble? Do you need help?
There's still no response. You wanted to see how I do this. So, I'm assuming, are you stopping in your tracks every time you answer this, or are you just kind of walking?
I'm definitely stopping because I'm kind of hesitant.
Okay. So when you do this time, Glare kind of floats a couple inches ahead, and it's not like he's ignoring you. It almost seems like he's investigating it. And Glare slowly turns around, and his face is very narrow, and he seems to be thinking, pondering really, really hard.
Can I talk to him? Will I be able to communicate with him effectively, I wonder?
You, of course you have proficiency in animal handling, and he is your HOC, so you guys have a better line of communication, but it's obviously not going to be perfect. So, part of this, part of these growth episodes are really for not just you, but your HOC too. You two should bond. So yeah, you can absolutely talk to Glare. It just might not be the most intelligible.
Well, I want to know what he sees, if anything.
He... You ask him when he sees, and he kind of gives you like a dumbfounded look, and you take it as there's nothing there. Why are you asking what do I see? I don't see anything.
Well, I was wondering if maybe there was something that he noticed or saw that I didn't see. But...
So... Well, what do you say to him? Let's have a conversation between you and Ghastly.
Sure.
So you asked him, does he see anything?
Yeah.
And he says, no, there's obviously... Like, he gives you that kind of dumbfounded look.
Well, I was just checking, you know. I thought maybe there was something that you saw that I didn't. You look bothered.
When you say, see something I didn't, he kind of like, he opens his eyes a little bit more, and he nods.
So there is something that I'm not noticing.
His eyes narrow again, and they almost come down to a squint, because it seems like he's really trying to ponder something. Like, he has felt this way before.
Well, this is very deja vu, because it's a lot like what happened when we met.
He gives you this face of like, yeah, I know, right? And as he gives you that face, you hear again, and this time it sounds even more distressed. This, Lettie!
Oh my god. If they're not responding, we should go farther and see if we can find out where they are.
Ghastly, or Glare, he kind of nods. He's like, yeah, I guess. Like, he doesn't seem too confident. But this time he's kind of sticking ahead of you.
Oh.
I'm bleeding. Cool.
Great.
Yeah, I know. It is always. As you start walking closer, the voice seems to be somewhat getting more clear. And you start figuring out it's an older female voice. It's an older woman calling you. And it definitely seems familiar, but it's not like, you know, super uber familiar of who it is.
Is there any way is it definitely not somebody I know, or like is there a way that I can roll to see if it's somebody I know?
Yeah, let's do another perception check. Now that you're closer, maybe you get it a little better.
We'll see. No, I rolled a 1.
Damn. So you kind of out loud or just kind of like, who is that? And Ghastly gives you another dumbfounded look.
I'm sorry.
And he's kind of like, I've definitely heard this voice before, so you should know this voice.
I'm thinking that this is probably the same voice that sounded so scared the last time I heard it. What?
Who's playing Dungeons?
Currently me. We're doing individual sessions tonight. Jesse's next. 8:30.
Oh, so you're not playing Taylor?
I'm playing with Bailey right now.
Hi.
Where are you?
I'm in the computer.
I am the hard drive.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
Oh.
All right. I just wondered because Amanda said she was eating, and then it confused me. I thought, well, wait a minute. I thought they were playing Dungeons and Dragons.
And I am right now.
Oh.
Amanda should be eating. She just had dinner, so thanks for narking.
Is there what?
Said she just had dinner, so you just narked on Amanda.
Oh, Sorry.
It's okay.
Bye.
Bye.
I definitely think that this is the same voice as last time, or at least I have a suspicion. The voice that screamed.
While you're pondering that, make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy. Oh my god. It's a 3.
Oof.
This is so bad.
As you're pondering, you hear a crash behind you, and there's another rock slide, and Ghastly, he was looking at you when this happened, so he kind of jumps, kind of floats behind you, and kind of nudges you forward to help you get out of the way. He doesn't do it very gracefully, though, so you kind of fall to the floor. And it's weird because you didn't feel the earth shaking. It was like rocks just started falling. And when you look up, you can see there's a bend coming up in the passageway, and you see a silhouette of a female woman. A female woman. A female figure.
A female woman.
Female woman.
I almost wrote that in my notes. Is this like an apparition, or are we talking like a silhouette? Like there's a physical person standing in front of me?
It's a shadow on a wall. So.
Oh shit! I call out. Who is it?
It just responds again with the distressed Lettie, and
run towards it. I want to find out where this person is.
All right, do another dexterity saving throw.
Let's see if we do better this time. Christ. Oh fuck! A nat 20.
Okay, so remember earlier how like you were making great strides, but like not moving anywhere. That kind of clicks in your head, and as you start running, you take 2 steps forward, and after 2 steps, you are face to face to this wall, and you stop close enough that you do not run into this wall. It looked like it was like yards ahead of you, and suddenly it was right on top of you.
That's weird.
But this is a bend, so the passage does continue off towards the left-ish, and the shadow has now moved down to the other side of the hallway, of the passageway.
I want to keep on following this shadow until I can get them to either respond or I can catch up.
You continue running. Let's do a wisdom saving throw.
9. It's terrible.
As you are running towards it, and of course now that you've kind of figured out that this hallway is weird, you're not really running. It's more like just kind of a fast pace, and you see another bend in the passage. You stop and you think about it, and you're like, I think there's got to be something more to this, right? And boom, again, another rock slide just hits right behind you.
Holy shit. Okay.
And you are able to dodge this one. But when you look up, you see the shadow on the wall kind of converge into a small circular shape on the wall. And from the distance you're at, you can definitely tell this shadowy figure, this shape, kind of pulls away from the wall until it's this floating dark orb and continues to move down the passageway. And as it's going, you almost feel like you can hear like childish laughter coming from it.
This is unsettling. It's definitely not a Pokemon,
you don't know. You as much research as you've done, with everything going on, all your senses kind of whack. You can't really think very rationally right now. But Ghastly seems very, very dedicated and interested in whatever this thing is that's moving.
Well, then, if he's interested, I'm interested. We should definitely catch up to it because I'm freaked out. But I want to know what that is. I want to know if it's a Pokemon, a person.
So you start following after it, and it doesn't take very long, again, because this passage is so weird. Suddenly, you're back at the cavern where you started, that small kind of open area. And again, the only difference this time is that, firstly, the rock slide obviously isn't there, and it's perfectly lit. There's plenty of light in this passage. And as you walk in, you look around, and at first you don't really see anything. You don't see the shadow. You don't hear anything. And then almost immediately after you walk into this little cavern, you hear right behind you, like in the back of, like right next to your ear, "Wow, a Ghastly!"
Holy shit, I spin around. I'm on alert, man.
How tall is Lettie, like, height-wise?
Probably like 5'3".
Okay. When you spin around, you expect something right behind you, because you heard this right in your ear. But when you turn around, you don't see anything immediately except for kind of a tuft of hair. Looking down, you see a young woman who's kind of curvier. She's a bigger girl. She's got bright caramel skin. She's like very beautifully light skinned. She's got dark hair that's braided, like all across her head, that goes up into this big poof in the back. And her hair, it's like black as night, matches these markings on her face. She's got makeup on that's just dark black. Just to the extent, she's got like a little black lipstick thing going on. Her dress is very neat, and it fits her well, and it's this deep purple with pinstripes, and she's got these big round glasses, and she's staring up at Ghastly with the biggest smile.
Who are you?
She doesn't really say anything at first, because she just seems so interested in Ghastly. And finally, she kind of like lowers her head so that she's now looking at you in the face and says, "I'm Evanora."
You said Evanora?
Evanora. Here, I'll type that too. I got shit everywhere. Yeah, Evanora.
That right.
And she's like grinning ear to ear.
Well, it's nice to meet you. What are you doing here?
I was on a walk through the mountains.
Oh, me too. I was with my friends, but I don't know where they went.
When you say this, the frown kind of goes, or the smile kind of goes away, and she looks like she's thinking, and she's like, you were all together?
Mm-hmm. We were traveling together, but I woke up and my friends were gone, and I've been searching for something for a little while now.
What were you looking for?
I heard a voice, but I don't know whose voice it was. and I kept running after it, but I feel like I could never find the source.
She smiles again and she says, "Oh, well, that's easy. I can tell you who was talking to you."
Who?
And right as she's saying this, a little Pokemon pops up right behind her. And it's a little happier than in this picture. But it appears out of nowhere. It just appears out of thin air. And it gives off a little giggle. And the giggle it gives off is that childish laughter you heard from earlier.
It was a Pokemon. Okay.
So, and Evanor says, "This is my H-Shock Phantom."
Oh my gosh. Well, that makes me feel a little better because I thought it was a ghost.
She starts laughing. She's got this like really obnoxious snorting laugh. So she's like, "It is."
Well, then you and I are very similar. That must be why you like Ghastly so much.
Well, of course. I've just never met another Elkinmont outside of the town before.
I'm looking at my notes.
Okay.
Well, I am not of the Elkinmont. I am from the Cadet from Split Waters.
Her eyes get really big. She's like, "Then why do you have a ghost type?" And she actually kind of steps back and she's like, "Wait a second. You're not one of those."
No, God, no. I'm not. That's the reason I'm out here, is because they came and raided my town, which is why me and my friends are out here. Because we don't leave. But I don't know why I have a gas leak.
She looks up at Phantom, and Phantom has this like very stern look on his face, and he gives her like a very confident head nod, like, "Yeah, she's okay." And when Evanora turns back, she's smiling again, and she's like, "So, no one else in your tribe has a ghost Pokemon H-Shock?"
Not to my knowledge. Everyone seemed really creeped out, honestly, when I got my Ghastly.
When you say creeped out, she gives another little snort. She's like, "Ghost types aren't scary or creepy. They're just really, really fantastic."
I agree. I think they have a bad rap.
She snorts again. She's like, yeah. And she turns to Phantom and she's like, "Although, I guess I can understand why." And she kind of moves past you and finds like a little place in the ground to just sit down. And when she does, Phantom kind of curls up like a cat in her lap. It's like second nature. Like she sits down and this Pokemon's in her lap.
That's so cute.
And she kind of passes the ground. She's like, "Come sit down."
I sit down with her.
She says, "So you're from the Cadet? I've never heard of them."
Yeah, I guess we're a small tribe. We kind of keep to ourselves. I haven't really been much out of my village, but there was really no reason for me to until the white coat showed up.
She sighs and she's like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but the Elkinmont, we live in the swamps down south, and we don't get out much either."
My chief told me about your people, actually, and he said that I might want to come and visit y'all, since I'm the only person with a ghost Pokemon in our tribe.
She pushes her glasses up her face and she's like, "Yeah, that'd be cool." And she's obviously just kind of lost in thought. She's got a lot to take in, and every once she's not really focusing on you when she's talking to. She's kind of focusing on Ghastly. And she's like, yeah, our tribe's pretty cool. Well, no one's really allowed into our tribe, though.
Why is that?
She gives kind of like a little snort. She's like, the white coats?
Well, yeah. But what if it's not a white coat? Does that change things?
She shakes her head. She's still smiling, but she shakes her head. And she's like, we try to stay to ourselves, really. Actually, it might be why you lost your friends, too. And she's looking at the ground now.
Hold up. What are you talking about? What happened?
She, like, looks at you, and she's really confused, and she goes, oh, this isn't real.
Oh my god. Well, then what is it? Am I hallucinating? Is this a dream?
She's searching for the words, and she's like, yes.
Oh.
She's like, yeah, you haven't noticed that? And she, like, pats the ground, and it's obviously made out of rock, but when she pats it, it gives, like, a very, very obvious, it almost sounds like she's knocking on wood.
Oh, that's weird. Well, I did think that something was a little funny when I was going down that hall earlier, so I guess that makes sense.
She kind of just gives a nod. She's like, yeah, the Alchemon are really, really good at deception and mysteries and hiding. In fact, our tribe hides in the swamps. You'll never find it. And she just shakes her head. She's kind of smiling, not like big smile, but she's smiling. She's like, yeah, you'll never find it.
Well, I'm interested to know more about your people. Is there anything else that you could tell me about them? I really want to know more about why I have a ghost Pokemon.
She starts looking up in the ceiling again. She's kind of just looking all over, and she's like, I don't know. I don't think Sybil or Ophelia would like me talking much about the tribe.
Who's that? Persuasion.
Sure. Go ahead.
If she seems like she's staring off into space, maybe I can just get her to talk. Damn it, that wasn't very good. 9!
She's like, oh, Sybil and Ophelia are... And then she stops, and she just kind of looks at you with big wide eyes, and she's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Well...
Sisters? Friends?
They're not my sisters, but we listen to them. What'd you say you have a chief?
Yeah, we do.
We don't do that. We have Sybil and Ophelia. They're kind of like our chiefsters. What's a female chief called? And she's just kind of pondering to herself.
That's really cool. So your tribe is run by women? That's awesome.
She kind of smiles and giggles, and she's like, well, yeah.
That sounds best.
There's only women in our tribe.
What? Really?
Yeah. And she's just, again, just kind of floaty. She's looking back at Ghastly now.
Well, what's that like? What's your family like? I want to know. I'm so interested.
She's kind of like confused. And she's like, well, we all basically live in one big house. And there's a town close by that we like to, we get provisions from and stuff, you know, like, well, we kind of take stuff. And she's thinking really hard, trying to remember what the fucking town's called. That's not right. Hold on. Is it this one? She's like She says, shit, I don't think that's right. Hold on, let me just look this up so I don't give you the wrong information. I've not looked at my map in a long time.
That's okay. I won't tell anyone.
I'll probably have to do this again later. Okay. DK Donkey Kong. Yeah. She says, well, there's a little tribe, just kind of just a little place, the Divide Lands. It's where the swamp meets the plains. That's where we get a lot of our stuff, and sometimes we go down to Kingston. Kingston's where we like to steal stuff. That's where the Whitecoats like to go fishing.
Do you run into Whitecoats very often?
She smiles and snorts. No. They can't ever find us. They will never be able to find us.
So you say that you and your people are very good at deception. Is the reason they can't find you because of that? Is there some kind of illusion?
She shakes her head like really vigorously, and like her big bun, hair bun is just like bouncing all over the place. She's like, "Oh yeah."
So cute.
Miss Sybil, has a really powerful ghost Pokemon that's really good at deception, and Miss Ophelia is weird. She doesn't have a ghost Pokemon as an H-Shock, but her H-Shock's really good at deceiving too. And she looks down at Phantom, and all this time she's kind of got her hands on his like branches, kind of like handlebars, and just kind of like holding him. And she's like, we were taught from a really young age how to work with our H-Shocks to use their abilities. And she like looks up at you, and she's like, "Do you want to see?"
Yeah, I do. Show me.
She stands up, and she like when she stands up, it kind of pisses off Phantom. He's kind of like, I don't want to be up right now, and he just kind of floats up to about eye level for her, and she holds her arms like straight out, left and right, and she's like, "Close your eyes and name." Just name an object that I'm gonna try to make it appear in this room.
A coffee mug.
You hear like a whooshing sound, and Evanora says, "Okay, you can open your eyes." And when you do, she and Phantom are like standing, like in front of them is a small, kind of like a wooden stump. It's obviously handheld, and it's definitely cylindrical. But outside of that, that is the closest resemblance it has to a coffee mug. And when you look up at Evanora, she's got this very, very, like, pained smile on. Like, she's not very happy with what just happened. And Phantom can kind of care less. He's just kind of, like, just kind of sitting there. And she's like, okay, name something that's, like, in a cave.
A rock.
Christ almighty. Wait, what is that?
What?
I'm trying to roll to see how well they do. You close your eyes again, you hear a whooshing, and when you open your eyes, where the stump, little piece of wood was, is now a rock shape. It literally is just the same object, but now is got a rock texture on it. And
It's kind of cool.
when you open your eyes, Evanora's got her arms crossed and she's looking at Phantom. And she kind of like brings him to the side and you hear her, "Can you take this seriously? You're embarrassing me." And she turns around, she's like, "All right, we're going to try that one more time." And she's like, "How about..." And she's like, "Oh, I got it. Close your eyes and look up."
Okay.
So you do so, and you hear that whooshing sound, and this time it's a lot stronger. And she says, "All right, open your eyes."
What do I see?
You see several rocks of different shapes and sizes, all of them, most of them, larger than you, and they come tumbling down towards you.
Oh my god, I want to jump out of the way.
Okay. We'll do a dexterity saving throw again.
Oh, phew! Okay, 20.
You roll out of the way like perfectly, and Ghastly like swoops in behind you, and y'all even do like a cool little pose afterwards.
Like American Ninja Warrior. Or
Exactly,
whatever.
yes. And Evanora looks kind of disappointed
Ah.
from the other side, and when the rocks hit the ground, they like no clip through the ground. There's no sound or anything. And she's like, "You know those were fake, right?"
Well, no, I didn't know that. And now I'm kind of wondering if it was you casting rocks down upon me earlier. If so, that scared me, and that's not very nice.
She crosses her arms and says, "Well, somebody got ahead of me." And Phantom just kind of smiles, and he's like looking off. He's almost like, it's almost like he's laughing, but he's trying not to look at anybody in the eye because he knows he's gonna like just bust out laughing.
Well, now I feel silly because I really thought that I was going to get crushed to death. But I also feel a little bit better. But I have to ask you, are you the one calling my name?
Phantom shakes his head yes, and again he looks like he's gonna burst with laughter. And Evanora is kind of like, "Well, I think he was just doing his job because he's really just trying to protect me. So what we have here," and she's just kind of like throwing her hands around. She's like, "What we have here is a really simple deception. And I guess what happened was when we created this deception illusion, we might have accidentally split up your friends too. Because, well, I'm just trying to get through the mountains safely. I didn't want to run into any whitecoats, so I built extra tunnels." And
While that is a good idea, how am I going to find my friends?
she doesn't look like concerned at all. She's like, "Oh, you'll find them. The illusion only has such a limited range. You'll walk right out of this. And I'm sure they will too." And she points down south, and she's like, just past the Highway 1, I think it is a small clearing, and you'll probably meet all your friends up there. And nope, she's wrong. She meant Highway 3.
3?
Yeah, I thought you guys were on Highway. No, you're on Highway 2 now. Highway 3 starts again, a little further down south. She's like, you guys will meet up, and she's still looking at Ghastly, and she's like, "So wait a second, you've never done this before?"
No, I haven't. But I would love to learn.
And she looked at she looks from Ghastly to you, and she's like, "Well, Ghastly looks strong enough. Why don't you try to ask him to make something?"
I still want my coffee mug.
Glare kind of like looks at you like that's the best. Okay. And just kind of rolls his eyes.
Thought of. So, unless you have any better ideas, Glare.
Glare
Make me a coffee mug.
Glare shakes his head like, no.
Please.
Roll for Glare a charisma roll. Just a regular charisma roll.
For Glare?
For Glare.
Oh god. Is this a saving throw or?
No, so just add the modifier instead of the saving.
Oh no, well, that's even worse. 9.
Glare closes his eyes and he's concentrating really, really hard, and in front of him is a small, dark, it looks like a black hole is opening up.
Okay.
And it starts to take shape, and it's in a cylinder shape, and as it's kind of rotating in the sky, you can even see a handle start like sinking out of it.
Whoa.
And as this is happening, you hear a little pop behind it, and when you look over, there's a Diglett, and the Diglett just pops his head in and like stares at you all and starts to freak out a little bit and burrows quickly back into the hole.
Aww.
And when this happens, it breaks Glare's concentration, and the object falls to the ground, and it's still kind of this black matter mass, and it kind of just sinks into the ground and like gets just kind of melts away. And Glare looks pretty peeved at the Diglett, and he seems kind of disappointed in himself.
Don't be disappointed. That was a really good try. You just got distracted.
Glare gives you like a hearty determined look, and shakes his head, and he seems ready again.
Let's try one more time. How about that coffee mug?
Go ahead and roll that charisma roll.
Oh yeah, 16.
Again, he kind of closes his eyes and is concentrating, and the shape almost reappears immediately. It's this black hole mass, and it's a cylinder with a handle, and you can even see it's starting to get some depth to it. So there's like a opening, and how much was it? What'd you roll? 16? Okay. And it starts coming to shape, and it's almost like the picture is rendering from bottom to top. And again, it's made out of wood for whatever reason, but it definitely is in the shape of a coffee mug. And when it falls to the ground, it falls with a lot of weight, so it doesn't like knock over or anything. It just kind of plops right onto the ground.
That's amazing.
And Evanora is clapping like really, really dramatically, and she's like, oh my gosh, and like Phantom is not like he is not moved at all. He's just kind of sitting there. He's not like
So unimpressed.
He's not unimpressed. He literally is just kind of sitting there, just kind of like floating.
Being a ghost.
Yeah, he's just straight face, just sitting there,
Laughing happily.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And Ghastly is Glare is like beside himself. He's so excited. He's got the biggest smile on his face.
Clapping. I'm so proud of him. My boy.
He it almost looks like he's blushing. You can't really tell, obviously, because he's a ghost. But he is your ghost, and you definitely know he's blushing.
You're the best.
And Evanora is like, that was awesome. And see, now you just gotta keep practicing that, and let your Pokemon rest a lot, because if they do that all the time, they're gonna start getting worn out, and they're not gonna be good for battle. But they definitely have a great ability. And look, if you ever get to the swamplands and there's not really a code word or anything, but if you ever see anybody in the swamplands, just say that you met Evan Nora, and of course that my HAC was a phantom, and this will help too. And she kind of pulls out like this little necklace, and it's a small wooden symbol, and you can tell it's some kind of like scorpion. And she says, "Our totem, the Elkinmont totem, is a Drapion." Yeah, I'm gonna type that out for you.
Also, how do you spell phantom?
Oh, phantom.
Okay, that's right.
I hope that's right. Yeah.
Sweet. So she giving me this wooden thing?
No. She's just showing you.
Okay.
She tucks it in really quickly. She obviously seems offended. She's like, "This is mine."
Well, I mean, it's pretty. You have great taste.
She's like, "Oh, thanks. I was born with this, so."
You have a lot of style.
She blushes at that, and she's like, "Oh," and she pushes her glasses up again.
I push my glasses up.
It's a very sweet nerd moment all around.
I feel so romantic with this nerd girl.
She y'all just stand there, and Phantom slowly kind of floats in from the side and just kind of nudges her in the head, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, we probably should be going." And she turns to go, and she's like, "Well, it was really great meeting you, Lettie. I guess I asked for your name earlier, and you told me it, so we'll just go with that."
I suppose.
Yeah.
It's not a dream after all.
And she sort of sets off. She's you can already tell she's an awkward girl, and she turns back around and she goes, "Oh, and if you can, stay away from the Blue Woods."
Why?
It's not a good place right now anymore. And she seems like this is the first time she's seemed depressed. Like, of all the time you've been chatting with her, she's been like totally cool. Even the sad point, she's just been kind of like blah. But she like seems legit upset right now. She says, "There's people who live in those woods. They're not good people. They are white coats that pretend to be from Apcol. They call themselves the Achokwi."
Can you spell that?
Yeah, I'm gonna type it in.
You know, I've heard about these people. I was warned about them before.
Yeah, they've taken on the moniker of the if I could read my notes, of the Chitan. Now, of course, they say the Chitan are extinct, and I think there's still a few out there, but don't believe anyone who says they're part of the Chitan. That's a lie. It's really, really worrisome, actually. These Achokwi, and she's obviously very distressed, and she doesn't, she's kind of worried, and she is almost kind of on the verge of tears.
Is she a hugger?
You could try.
You want a hug?
Actually, she's like, she kind of stiffens up, and she's like, "No."
Okay.
And she's like, "Look, just stay away from the Blue Woods. They live everywhere. They live in the trees. They're just not good people. And despite what their name says, and despite what they seem like on the outside, they are abusing Pokemon, and it's not right what they do."
What are they doing to them?
She just shakes her head and like looks away, and she's like, "They're not good people."
Well, I believe you.
Lettie, and she like looks at you. She's like, "Lettie, promise me you won't go into the Blue Woods. Do not go into the Blue Woods."
I promise.
Do you really, or do you want to like try to lie to her?
I'm probably lying.
Do a deception roll then.
I promise. I will do my best to avoid it. Oh shit, 2. I'm saying I promise.
And Evanora doesn't like flinch. She's just like, Lettie, stay away from them. Seriously, it's not good. And she pushes her glasses up on her face again, and Phantom is already kind of like in the passageway, floating away. And she turns back around and she gives you like a half smile now and says, "I hope we see each other again soon."
I do too.
And she just turns and she walks away. And
Dang.
as she walks away, it's like you hear her take like 3 footsteps, and then the footsteps are gone.
That's weird.
Ghastly just kind of eyes you too, and is just kind of like, "What the fuck?"
I don't know, man. But we should get out of here.
All right. Do you want to keep heading south?
I suppose so. Yeah, back to where she said I could get out of this illusion and find my pals.
All right. So you start heading south, and at one point you're walking and you're walking and you're walking, and it's very brightly lit. It's very narrow, and then suddenly you step through. It's almost like you step through a cold shower, like you're walking into a cold shower, and but there's no water. You just are given these chills, and when you walk out, your eyes have to adjust for a second because the passageway is very, very dimly lit again. And looking back, you can see that it's always been dimly lit. It's been that way for what seems to be miles down this one passageway. And looking ahead, you can see a small opening. And moving towards that opening, inside are several entrances that are about a foot deep. Like there's like 7 archways, and every single one of them is about a foot deep, except for the one you're standing in. There's one that says Highway 2, and there's one that says Highway 3. Those 3 are obviously fully made passageways, but the other ones are just kind of a foot deep. They're really, really shallow. It's just kind of a funky sensation. And as you're kind of looking around at these doorways, you do like several spins, and you're looking at them, then you look at them again, and the third time when you're looking around, you see Willy walk out of one of the hallways.
Oh my god!
And he and Machop are there. They look kind of worse for wear. They look a little rough. And before you can even say anything, down the hallway that is marked Highway 2, you hear a roar, this thunderous roar. It's definitely dragon in nature.
Mm.
And you hear Claire scream.
I want to run to help her.
And that is where we end.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
That was good.
And so when I put this episode up, yours is the first one, and so I don't want to like spoil what's happening in the other storylines, but I did want to give you that knowledge to know what's going on. And then I have a plan for what's going to happen to the other 2. It might be different because you were actually supposed to battle Evanora, and
what?
she was going to kind of like attack you. But then
Why didn't that Color.
I thought talking was gonna be a lot better, especially because
that was informative.
Yeah, Lettie's the information person, and she needs. We really need to start getting information in it. You can't do that, especially the direction you guys are going. It's not to a dead end, but it's a dead end. So I don't want to like get you guys through the first challenge and then you guys be like, well, we have literally nothing left to do. So
I feel.
So now you've got some good information. And the really shitty thing and the really crazy thing is you guys only know about the southern tribes. You haven't really even learned about the northern tribes.
Yeah, not really. We've only got limited information.
Yeah. So we got. I'm gonna put some more experiences out there. But yeah, there we go. And
now I'm gonna get into the pottery making business with my Ghastly.
There you go. Yeah, and just and it's almost kind of like a con gig. So like, you can sell these pottery things, and when they walk away, they're just gonna disappear anyway. And,
all right, I've got my future all laid out in front of me.
What is it? It's like what do they call that? Like a just a con game or whatever. So yeah,
there's a word for it, but
right. Hustle. You can hustle people. That's what I'm trying to say.
There
so
you
go. you and Glare hustlers down in
my illusionary ceramic side. I'm into it. I'm glad I got to talk to her instead of have her kick my ass with her cute Pokemon.
Well, and again, like, y'all would have talked, but the focus was definitely on the battle. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Good enough.
How's midterms going?
They're going. I'm working on them. So.
Good. How many more do you have left?
I'm finishing up my. It's just my history one that I'm working on because that one is requiring a lot of writing. Because like I have to do questions along with a like 3 to 4 page paper for the mid. So.
Dang.
But it's all work that I've done. I just need to get it down.
Good. How's practice and everything? How's music? How's the music side of things?
Yeah. That's going pretty well. I've got all the pieces I'm practicing have been going along pretty well, and I'm working on my basically my project for the semester as far as composing is concerned, and but that's making progress too, so pretty good.
That's good. All right. Well, tonight I've got just a short little episode. I really love the idea of working on kind of individual stuff.
Yeah.
It gives each of us a moment to kind of focus on us, and it'll be a lot shorter. So, we'll start off. When we left off last time, we were at the second highway, Highway 2. Inside the mountains. You had just split off from Jacob, who was a traveler who just kind of crossed paths with you, and y'all were traveling south to kind of research or to look into some weird rumblings, and you notice that these lamps that are attached to the walls, they kind of dim every once in a while, like the lights will go out a little bit. And so you're on your way to kind of figure out what's going on with that. As a group, you're walking down this passageway, and eventually it leads into a cavern. And it's a nice, comfortable cavern, and the group ultimately decides, let's stay here for the night. Let's just put our things down and rest. And when you wake up, you're awoken by Macho. He's actually frantically shaking you awake. And when you wake up, you look around the room and you notice that Claire and Lettie are gone. Their Pokemon are gone. The only Pokemon around is Macho. It's just you and Macho.
Okay.
As you look around the cavern, the entryway, you notice that rocks have fallen down and blocked the entryway. And to start off the action, because this is going to be a very action-heavy episode for Willy, go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Dexterity save. All right. So rolled a 14. So that's saving throw would be.
That's the ST. So
The ST. Yeah, correct. So 14. That would be make 16.
All right. Macho's shaking you awake because the ground around you is rumbling, and when he wakes you up and you look around the room, the last thing you kind of see is a pile of rocks falling towards you, and you quickly roll out of the way, kind of barrel roll out of the way.
Okay.
As you get up, he starts pointing towards another entrance across the cavern, and in that entrance you can see a line of lights, and they're kind of blinking rapidly on and off. And Macho is very excitedly pointing that direction, kind of saying, "We need to go."
Okay. All right. Okay, so maybe I could roll a perception check here.
Sure.
15 makes 17.
It
Or
feels...
no, 15. My bad. Just 15.
Okay. It feels and sounds and looks like a cave-in is happening.
Feels like a what? Say it again.
A cave-in. It feels like a cave-in is happening.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So I'll go towards it.
Towards the passageway? Okay. So y'all just start running. And you're dodging rocks, and the passageway you're running through is actually very narrow, to the point that it's basically long enough or wide enough for one person. So Macho is actually, he's kind of leading you, and every foot placement that he jumps, you're jumping, and you're just running and running. Everything around you just seems to be falling apart. Let's see. Let's go ahead and roll another dexterity saving throw.
Yep. All right, 10. So that makes 12.
As you run, you notice another volley of rocks falling in front of you, and you get enough reaction to reach out and grab Macho by the arm and pull him back. But as you do, you kind of stumble in your movement, and you can feel yourself falling backwards. As you fall backwards, you noticed something odd, because you should have hit the ground by now, but you're not. And that's when you realize the entire floor has caved in, or has fallen out from underneath you, and you're falling.
Just sinkhole.
Yes, yeah, you're falling down a sinkhole, but not for very long. You land onto a metal platform, and rocks are falling all around you. When you land, you kind of get the air knocked out of you. You weren't expecting that at all, and you kind of lay flat on the ground for a second. Macho jumps up excitedly, and we're going to roll a strength saving throw for Macho.
Okay. Go look. All right. 11 plus 6 is 17.
Oh my god, he's amazing.
I was about to say, he's real strong.
Yeah, he's gonna be strong. He stands above you, and you open your eyes long enough to see a boulder that's about as long as you are. It looks like it's gonna cover you completely, heading towards you. Macho just swings one arm into the sky, and it kind of breaks in half right on his... Actually, when it hits his fist, it kind of crumbles, and you're not really showered with pebbles. It showers all around you, but nothing really touches you. But he's completely taking care of that for you.
Yeah.
So you get the wits, you get your wits about you, and you stand up, and you notice you're in this very, very odd chamber. The ground is made out of metal, which doesn't seem right at all. And there are metal shelves all around you. The metal shelves are packed full with these large wooden crates. In the distance, you can hear what sounds like drilling. Actually, well, I already said it, but it sounds like digging. There's some kind of earth moving, but every once in a while you can hear that drill. There's some kind of drill going off in the area surrounding.
Okay.
Looking around, you've got a lot of shelves to kind of duck in between, but you can see that there's a door kind of on the north opening, or the northern side of the room. Not the door isn't opening.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you like to do? Oh, I think you're frozen. Hold on one second. Uh-oh. Hold on. Can you hear me? Hey.
There we are.
Okay, cool. Sorry, you bugged out there for a second.
Yeah, that was how it was on my end. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So what would you like to do?
We go towards that door.
Okay. Walking closer to the door, it's pretty obvious that all that shaking, all that digging is happening on the other side of the door. You reach for the handle, but Macho kind of puts his hand on your waist. That's about as high as he can really reach anyway. But he puts his hand on your waist and puts a single finger against his mouth in a quiet indication.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to walk through the door? How do you want to open the door? Do you want to try to do it slowly, quickly?
Something's happening. Okay. Let me just try. Okay, we'll go with this. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just gonna quiet down, I guess.
Okay. So you open the door kind of slowly, but you kind of figure that it wouldn't have made a difference anyway, because the second you open the door, that drilling, that digging gets really, really loud. And as you walk through the door, you are on... It's not really a catwalk, but it is overlooking... It's a larger metal platform that's overlooking an area where you can see several men in brown jumpsuits. They all have yellow hard helmets on, and there's several Pokemon all around them helping dig and move ground around. On the platform itself is, again, several large metal shelves that are full of these big wooden crates. As you go through the door, and once on the other side, you see Macho kind of quickly tiptoe across the floor and sidle up against one of the boxes, or one of the shelving systems, and kind of looks at you expectantly.
Okay, so I'll probably join him over there.
Okay, so so you walk over and you sidle up against the boxes. Right as that happens, two of these miners walk past the shelves. Their backs are to you. They're walking to your left, and they're just kind of walking away, talking to each other. When you look at them, how about this? Roll a perception check.
Check.
Yeah, perception.
14.
They are white men, and you guess pretty quickly that these are probably a group of white coats digging for some reason. Also, when you kind of peek around the corner to kind of just keep an eye on these guys, out of the corner of your eye, you see a giant, and I'm talking like 30-foot tall, wide, 30-foot diameter, this giant drill digging a hole through the earth. And it's going kind of slowly. It's kind of going on and off. And every time it turns on, you see the lights that are being hung all around this cavern. They dim down. And it's this loud, excruciatingly loud drilling sound that just destroys the earth. And then it will stop, and the lights come back to their kind of half dimness. And the rest of the digging sounds are heard, but it's very, very loud what's happening in here. On the, I'd say the eastern side of the room are several more shelves, and some of these look like bookshelves. Some of these, most of these shelves have these big wooden crates on them, but some of them look like books, are kind of just thrown in the mix. On the western side of the room is a staircase.
Okay. Probably I'm go for that staircase.
Okay. As you step out from around the corner, or as you step towards the western direction, Macho once again kind of grabs you by the leg, and when you look down, you see that he's hunkered down in a crouching position, and he's slowly walking from bookshelf to bookshelf. And why don't you roll? Go ahead and roll a stealth check.
18.
Oh, you hunker down and comfortably walk right behind him, and because you're from a tribe that still kind of benefits from hunting and gathering, you know that if you use the front of your foot, you can be a lot quieter. So you quietly, and it's not like it really matters anyway, because again, the drilling and the digging is super, super loud in here. But you, quiet as a mouse, just run right across the ground with Willy, or no, you're Willy, with my show. You head towards the bookcase, or excuse me, you head towards the stairwell, and you notice it has like a small landing. So it goes up. There's a landing, and then it goes up a different direction. How would you like to proceed?
We keep going.
All right. Do you want to go like all the way up, or do you want to stop on the landing?
I'll keep going past the landing.
Okay. So you run straight up. Macho right ahead of you, and Macho seems pretty confident. He runs with you. And when you reach the top of the staircase, you're on yet another platform. This one overlooking the one below that you were just on. It's much more narrow, and it leads towards a room that has been kind of carved into the stone, and you can see this big wall of glass that's kind of overlooking the entire area that you're in right now. This narrow kind of walkway towards it is made of a more mesh metal, so you can see down to the floor below you. How would you like to proceed now?
I think I'll go for it.
Okay. Full force, or do you want to sneak it again?
I'll sneak it.
Okay. Roll another stealth check real quick.
9.
So you and Macho run across the walkway again, very stealthily, hunched down to the ground. But as you run, you don't realize that there's a tool set just sitting right at the edge. And as you kind of go by, the momentum of everything shakes a wrench, and the wrench falls down and clambers onto the platform below. And you can look below, you see it fall, you see it hit the ground, and you know that it just rang out. But the thing is that, again, this room is so incredibly loud that you don't even hear the wrench hit the ground. And you're successful in walking across the catwalk to this it's somewhat of an office observation room. I'm assuming you want to go in?
Yep.
Okay, so you try the door and it works perfectly. You sneak in, and inside you close the door, and it's almost like magic. The second you close the door, you don't hear anything from the outside. No drilling, no digging, no nothing. It is just dead quiet. And inside this room are several platforms, and they're all about waist high. And they have screens. Bless you. They have screens and all these blinking lights on them. There's 2 rows of these. The first row is lined up against the wall that has the glass that overlooks the previous room. And there are 2 or 3 men sitting at the screens, and they are dead set just looking at the screens. The second row of what are computers. You would know they're computers. There is no one there. It's just completely that row just happens to be empty. And then again, I would say on the where are we going? We're going east. So on the south wall is a door. This is a metal door, though. This is like a big metal door, and it doesn't have any kind of doorknob. but there is a small panel sitting next to the door.
Okay. I think I'll go for that door.
Okay. Let's roll another stealth check. You gotta be really sneaky this episode.
So 13.
Okay. You get over there just fine. At one point, one of the guys just kind of says something to the other guys and turns his head for a slight moment. And when he does that, you and Masho kind of just freeze in place, but he barely turns his head enough to even really see you guys. At the door, roll an investigation.
20.
Nat 20?
20 including mod.
Okay, that's fine. That's still really good. You, this door has no doorknob. It has no handle or anything on it. The little panel next to it has a slide, and you can see where it says key card reader, and it's got a red color, like a red bar on it. You turn around, actually, you give Masho kind of a look, because, of course, you guys are somewhat primitive. This is a little more advanced than what you would give on. But Masho seems to be, he's got his wheels turning a little bit, and he turns back around and points, and one of the guys that is sitting at the computer, on his hip, there is a red card sitting, like, clipped to his hip. And Masho starts slowly walking towards him.
Why don't I roll sleight of hand, see if I can just snatch that from him?
Sure.
And that is a 22.
Oh yeah. So Masho's walking over there. You kind of walk behind him, and you put a hand on his shoulder, and he just gives you a nod, and you walk up behind the guy. Masho hides behind the second row of computers, and he's just looking. And right as you get underneath him, he turns his full body towards the other guy and starts talking about, something mundane. And Masho quickly pulls his head back in, and he's trying to hide, and his heart's racing because he's like, oh my god, there's no way Willy didn't get caught. Like, Masho is like really freaking out, and when he opens his eyes, you're standing in front of him, or crouched down in front of him, and you've got the card in your hand, and you just smile at him. You just give him a little smile of, you should have trusted me. You walk back over to the door, and I'm assuming you're going to slide the card and try to get through the door?
Yeah.
Roll a... actually, we're not going to do that. Yeah, actually, let's do that. Roll a intelligence saving throw.
Right. That's a total of 11.
So, kind of high off of the excitement of you just stealing that card so swiftly and so nicely, you walk over and you slide the card through the reader, and the door goes beep beep. And when it does that, the two guys in the chairs swivel around and catch you. They fully see you. And the one even says, hey! And the door opens to another stairwell.
All right. Run.
All right. So you book it, and you run up the stairwell. Running up the stairwell, you get to yet another. It's like you run up 2 or 3 stories. It's a long stairwell, and when you reach the top of the stairwell, you're on yet another. This is definitely a catwalk, overlooking the entire operation down below. And again, you just kind of keep running and running and running. Do you try to look behind you to see if they're coming?
No, just keep running.
Cool. So you are just running. You do not, you're not even trying. You're not even testing it. You get across the bridge, and there are 2 doors. These are both more natural doors, and one of them, it has written on it Highway 2, and that's the route that you were taking beforehand. The other one has it says what's the word I'm looking for? Locker rooms.
Why don't we go for the locker rooms?
All right. So you run through the door, and I'm assuming you're probably going to want to barricade it a little bit just to make sure that if those guys come running after you, that they can't get in. But at least, y'all are pushing against the door. Roll how about we do this? This will be fun. Roll a performance check.
A 3.
Okay. I had this really great idea, but that's not really gonna. That's not gonna swing it.
Yeah, I felt my bad luck was coming. There it was.
I know. Yeah, you'd been rolling really well.
Yeah.
So you're holding the door, and you're pushing it up against the door, and you hear 2 sets of footsteps coming. They stop. It's quiet for a second. You hear a door open, and you hear 2 steps of footsteps move, and then you hear them moving away. And they obviously have not come into your door.
Okay.
In this locker room, it's a locker room. There are lockers on all the walls. There are benches laid out all across the floor. And on one of the benches is a manila folder. Other than that, there's not really anything of consequence in this room. The lockers are mesh, and you can see inside of them, and most of the lockers, if they're not open and empty, have some kind of miner's outfit inside.
Okay. Let's take a look at that manila folder.
Okay, so you pick it up, and on the tab, it says Project Odyssey.
We're reading it.
All right. You open it, and it's a map of Apcol. And you recognize you recognize because you've seen a map of Apcol before. You know what your region looks like. Do an investigation roll.
17.
You see a dotted red line that has a few yellow spots kind of pointed out every once in a while. So, you look at the map, there's a dotted red line that's running through the map, and every once in a while, the dotted red line is interrupted by a big yellow spot. One of those spots, you do the math, you figure it out, that's where you're standing. On that one yellow spot.
I had a feeling where this was going.
The next closest yellow spot is a good ways north. Let me look at this real quick because I got my map pulled up too. It's way up by, and you can jot this note down. It's by the Sedna, S-E, I'll actually type it out for you. It's by the Sedna Bay. And the yellow dot, it's still in the mountains. It's still in the mountain range. That red dotted line then goes north through the mountains and rounds off towards the west. If you follow the line that's connected to the spot where you are, it goes south and rounds out and again goes towards the west, and it's going off the map.
Okay.
When you pick up the map, and there's nothing else in the folder.
Okay.
Do you want to take this? Do you want to leave it?
Yeah, I'll take it with me.
As you start to kind of just stuff it in your pack, you hear a man's voice go, "Hey!" And you whip around, and there's a man, a white coat, in a miner's uniform, helmet and all, and he's staring you down, and he puts a hand down. And he says, "I think you've got something that's mine."
So, I think Willy's gonna just hold it up and just be like, "This thing?"
Roll a... Let's do another performance check. Roll a performance check.
That's a little better. 13.
You kind of like sassily hold it up and you're like, "Oh, is this what you want?" And you kind of hold it like carelessly in your hand. You're kind of swinging it around. Suddenly, the ground splits right in front of you, and a Pokemon jumps up and grabs the folder and jumps back into the hole, burrowing immediately. And when it comes out the other side, you see it. I'm going to post a picture of it. And I'll write the name of it too. You see this little mole-like Pokemon.
Check that out. Okay. All right.
The Drillbur hands the folder back to the man, and he slips it inside his jacket. And how do you respond?
I'm going to get that sucker back.
All right. Well, then let's roll initiative. Oh, that's not great.
Okay. Rolling initiative. That's a 21.
Yeah. I mean, there's only 2 people, so like it's going to be easier battle. But I rolled an 11, and that was not. That didn't make me very happy. All right. Well, you've got first go. Drillbur is just kind of standing. I'm going to say, especially with a roll like that, that's a really good roll. I'm going to give you advantage on this first roll. So you'll roll 2d20s and take the higher of the two.
Okay. Okay. Let's start things off with low kick.
Nice.
Okay, and we got... All right. Thank God. Okay. All right. That's going to be a total of 22 for a low kick.
Dang, was that a nat 20?
Yeah, I rolled 19.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, that definitely hits.
I rolled a 19, then I rolled a 4.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Oh, thank God for that advantage.
All right, so that hits. So yeah, go ahead and roll your damage.
All right, so that'll be damage. Where's my damage? Damage bonus? Is that what that is?
You're gonna roll for damage. Under damage effect, it'll tell you what type of dice to roll.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay,
Yeah.
1d8. All right, 1d8. 8 plus move. Okay.
Yeah, plus the higher of the modifiers there.
The higher of.
So like where it says move power, it gives you.
Oh, so either strength or dexterity. So the higher of
those two. Yes.
Okay, so all right, so yeah, I rolled an 8, and strength is greater, obviously, so that's gonna be plus 3, which is 11.
Holy crap! You do a pretty good number on this Drillber. He's knocked
He took my
back.
shoulder.
Yeah, he's he's not happy. But I think he's gonna try his darndest. Okay. Sorry, I was getting distracted by my cat. He's gonna do not that. That sucks. He's gonna try to do scratch. He does not do scratch. Jesus Christ, he's just so blown away by this kick. And the miner.
He'd been through a lot.
The miner is like, oh my god, like he seems really upset too, like he's just out of it. And it's back to you, Willy.
Okay. All right, let's do a focus energy.
All right.
All right, so that'll be an 11.
All right, so how does focus energy work? Under where it says attack bonus /DC, does it have, what does it say there?
There's nothing.
Okay, hold on. Let me look at it so I can figure this out.
Hold on.
Focus. Come on, there it is. Okay. Oh, you don't even have to roll for that. So yeah, you're focused up.
We're just gonna let him. We're just gonna let that driller just like writhe for a second, and my show's gonna concentrate.
All right, so you're concentrating. Drillber is gonna get another swipe in though. He's gonna try to scratch, and oh Lord, it was a nat 1. That is a critical fail.
Shoot.
And as it's writhing on the ground, because you knocked it off its feet, it's on its back. It's kind of like turtling right now, even though it definitely could get up. It's just turtling, and the miner goes down to pick it up, and it's digging nails. Those nails are made for digging. Scratches down the face of the miner, and he wails, covering his face. you can see. I know it's Pokemon and it's supposed to be PG, but you can definitely see like blood is kind of running through his fingers.
Hey, he shouldn't have messed with my map. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and by this point too, the map has been dropped to the ground. But it's now Masho's turn.
All right, Masho is focused up. We're gonna do a low kick.
All right.
Shit.
Oh god.
All right, so that's that one.
You got a nat 1?
I did.
I
totally just did.
So Masho goes to give that final blow, and like pure sport, pure like talented ability, he kicks the back of the Drober, and it like flies up in the air a little bit and lands perfectly on its feet. And the Drober is just as surprised as you are that like everyone except for the miner, because he's not watching, he's got his hands over his face. Everyone is just surprised that this Drober just landed back on its feet. And now Drober is going to have advantage because that was fucking raw.
All right, fine. Then let's do it.
Are you fucking joking? He whiffed both. It was a 4 and an 8.
Oh god.
Okay, so Dribbler's still just standing in shock. He's completely unmoved.
He's back on his feet, but he's just still not with it yet.
No, he is lost.
He's still like, what just happened?
So it's Masho's turn.
All right, yeah, we're gonna do low kick again. We're gonna try that again. Are you kidding me?
Oh no!
Literally just rolled another nat 1.
Holy shit! This is the worst fight ever.
No, all my luck's running out now. I've been rolling great all night, and now this is my payback.
This is my payback. Yeah. This is the rock that we die on. This battle will never end.
No, I mean it's okay. I mean Drober's not with it either, so as far as I'm concerned, we're still good.
Exactly. So
what happens?
Willy calls out Masho low kick, and Masho is also still stunned that he could screw up so much that he doesn't even move. He's like still in the low kick position from the last low kick. Like he's just leaning leaning against the ground, just like, what have I done?
Oh jeez. Okay.
Dribbler's trying to get with it. He's not going to roll advantage, but he is going to try to freaking scratch maybe once. Ooh, and he does. That was a DC roll, so let's see what he does damage-wise. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. He does 4 points of damage. He's stunned, and he just kind of... He's like T-posing, and he just kind of rotates his body, and it happens to hit Masho while he does that. And Masho takes 4 points of damage.
Okay.
And now it is your turn.
Let's focus back up again.
Here, I'm going to tell you, that's only going to open your critical range. And honestly, it's not going to help you much on the roll. So I would just attack, honestly.
Okay, let's do it then.
Okay.
Low kick then. There we go. That's a total of 20.
That hits.
I'm rolling the extremes.
Yeah, it's either one or the other.
High, real low, but yeah. So there's a 20. All right. Let's see. Okay. For damage, we have 11 once again.
Holy crap! So after getting scratched, Masho is kind of offended, and is able to.
I think I'm seeing a pattern here. Whenever my show gets really pissed off, that's when he performs.
Yes, he's like unstable. But yeah, he does. He does kind of like a really cool kind of like a breakdance move too, where he kind of spins on his back.
That's like a spin move. Yeah.
Yes. And when he does that second kick, it actually sends Drober flying against the wall. And kind of Looney Tunes splats against the wall and slowly slides down it. And he is knocked out. The miner is continuing. He's still wailing. He's still got his hands on his face. He is not really focused at all. But you beat him. So you're good. The manila folder is still sitting on the ground.
God, he picked the wrong day to mess with Willy. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get that thing back up and take that with us. We're gonna take what is now rightfully ours.
All right. So you steal this manila folder, and I'm assuming you probably want to just head out the room.
Yeah, let's go. I've seen enough.
You grab the folder, and you just book it. Actually, so you run out the room. You look across the catwalk, and those two white coats that you had run into earlier, they're walking down the catwalk. Their backs are to you, so they're not facing you. But at this point, my show already has like the hand on the doorknob of the door that goes towards Highway 2, and he's kind of like waving you on.
Okay.
All right, so y'all start running. This hallway's weird. It's really kind of funky. The lights. So up to this point, as you've been walking through these hallways, the lights have been like oddly dim. This hallway is completely bright. It's like perfectly bright. And you just take a second to notice that, but otherwise you're just running and running and running.
I think I know why. It's because it kicked that miner's ass.
Why don't you... Let's roll one last dexterity saving throw.
Alright. Ah, shit. That's a 4.
As you run, there's another shift in the ground as what you assume is just the drill starting, and a shower of mud and dirt and dust just falls right on top of you and Macho. And Macho's got a pretty nasty cut. It's not that nasty actually, but he's got a cut on him, and now you guys are just covered in mud, and you're just running and running and running, and eventually you hit a dead end. You're just face to face with this big rock wall. As you're standing there, you hear from behind you, you hear voices. It sounds like the miners. You're looking at the wall and you just don't see anything. But Michaud is in a ready stance, and he looks like he's ready to punch the hell out of this wall.
Yeah. I'm gonna have Michaud try to kick that wall down.
Let's do a strength. Just do a regular for Michaud. Do a strength roll. Just a regular strength roll with the modifier.
With modifier, okay. All right, Michaud, whack the hell out of it. That's a 21.
Yes, he does. He punches so well. The weird thing is, though, it's a pile of rocks, and when he punches it, it swings open like a door.
Okay.
And when you walk through, the door closes behind you.
All right.
and the sounds of the drill and the people running, everything, just, they're gone. They're done. When you walk through the door, it's a very shallow doorway, and it leads into a circular chamber. The circular chamber has doorways. It has like 7 or 8 doorways all around.
Okay.
There are 3 signs. 2 of the signs say Highway 2, and they're sitting on opposite sides of the room. And then the doorway directly to your left says Highway 3. And the only other thing you notice when you walk into this room, actually it's the very first thing you notice, is a young woman in a ghastly. And she turns around, she's spinning in the middle of the room, and when she spins around, you notice it's Lettie. And you're reunited. And through the southern doorway that leads to Highway 2, you can hear a roar. It's a dragon roar. It's a loud, thunderous roar. You hear a dragon roar, and you hear Claire scream.
Alright, well, I guess we're running after that.
And that is where we end tonight.
Alright.
So you and my show got it. Y'all got some good information. And you'll be able to share that next time. And y'all can talk about it if you want or not. But I like the idea of keeping your scenario secretive. You guys won't really know what happens until you talk about it next time. So, so you guys are you're out, and you'll soon be reunited with Claire. Hi everyone, this is your Game Master or Dungeon Master, either one can work here, Bailey. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Pokemon Totem. As we build an audience, I feel it's only right that we start addressing our audience. We really appreciate the attention that our previous episodes have gotten. I know it's not the best production value, and honestly, we weren't doing it for production value. We were just putting it out there so we could use it personally, and then as time went on, I thought, let's try sharing it, and I think we all can agree that the attention we're getting is very, very awesome. So thank you all so much for joining us recently. And if this is your first time, welcome. If you like what's happening today, I think this is going to go in about halfway through the episode, so if you like what's happening, please throw us a like. Comment down below, tell me how bad I am at dungeon mastering, game mastering. Tell our players how bad they are playing the game. But in seriousness, if you have some compliments or suggestions or critiques, we are very, very open to everything. We really want to know how we can make this story better, especially me. I want to know how I could help my players enjoy it. Of course, you can also subscribe so you can see when new episodes are coming out. I have not made a dedicated channel. I think this will be the main dedicated channel, so you can just follow. This is my personal. If that ever changes, of course, I would make it obvious. My subreddit, or excuse me, my Reddit is the same as my YouTube. Is someone hammering? Okay, well, I hope that doesn't get picked up. Anyways, you can message me on Reddit if you want. I don't really have any other social media, so if you want to get in contact with me, please, on Reddit would be great. And if you really, really like this episode, please share it with your friends, share it with your loved ones, share it with the other people in your D&D group. Maybe they're not your friends. You don't have to like them. It's okay. I don't really like half the people on this show, including me. That's just a joke. Anyways, we might start streaming soon, and if any of that stuff starts happening, I definitely will try to be better with social media. But as of right now, I think word of mouth is the best route we should go with advertising. I don't really want us to advertise. This is our personal story, but I do enjoy sharing it with everyone else, and I hope you enjoy that we're sharing it too. I hope you join us next time. I don't really know what's going to happen because actually I'm recording this before the game even starts, so I don't know how far we're going to get today. Maybe we'll get to the gym challenge next episode. I don't know. Check out the Pokemon 5e subreddit. That's where I'm going to be trying to post as much as our stuff as possible. I don't want to spam their subreddit, but of course it is semi-relevant, if not fully relevant. So that's where that will go. And I do want to give a special shout out to Insane in the Rain Music, Carlos Eni. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. A long time ago, man, I asked you if it'd be okay if I could put some of your music in a video. You said yes, as long as I gave you credit. And here's the credit that is due, because you do absolutely fantastic work. It is absolutely crazy good. I threw in one of the original compositions as well as a couple of covers, obviously, but Insane in the Rain does just a fantastic job. Check out his YouTube, Insane in the Rain Music, his Instagram, he's got Twitter, he's got a Facebook, he's got a Patreon. Go support him. He's a really, really great guy. He makes really, really great music. Absolutely fantastic, stunning musician. And as a musician myself, actually in our group of 4, all of which are musicians in some aspect, we all really want to support you. Anyways, I hope you continue to enjoy the episode, or I hope you enjoyed the episode. How was it? I don't know if it's going at the beginning or in the middle or in the end. It could be any of those, honestly. So whatever it is, how about you comment that? Hey, good job putting this in the middle. Hey, I'd hate it at the end. Or you could just say whatever. I don't know. So yeah, I've done enough talking. Let's get back into the action. All right. Well, we've got Lettie and Willy out of the way. Guillaume out of the way.
You make it sound like you killed them.
Yeah, well, you don't know. You didn't hear those conversations. You were asleep. But now we're down to Claire. Last time we were, and this is fun because we're in the same room together. It's weird playing D&D in separate rooms. I don't feel comfortable being the DM though, and sitting in the same room as you. Otherwise, it would be fine. Anyways.
Do you think I'm going to cheat and look at your notes?
No. Does this look like an hour worth of content?
No.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you read it or not. It's going to be an hour worth of content. So last time we left off, you guys were walking down, or you were walking through the mountains, and you met up with a mountain tribesman named Jacob. He was part of the Scole tribe. And he directed you south because there have been some rumblings in the mountains. Mm-hmm. And if you remember, there are lanterns that were on the walls.
Yeah, and they did the whole flickering thing.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you're going south to investigate all that. As you travel south, though, you and Lettie and Willy are all on your way, and you find a nice little chamber to kind of rest in. It's a good looking cavern to rest in. And when you wake up, looking around, you notice that Willy and Lettie are gone. And
tired.
You are by yourself. It's you and Zuzu, and y'all are by yourself.
No Tintin?
Well, Tintin's in his ball.
You said ball.
Okay, can you not do that? But yeah, Zuzu's there. And this is perfect timing because you're kind of groggy anyway. But you're definitely having a groggy start. When you're looking around the room, you notice everyone's gone, and the entryway to this cavern that you just walked through, that you walked through the night before, has been caved in. And there's only one way out of this room.
Okay.
And as you kind of groggily are waking up, you hear someone call out to you. And they say, hey, we need to get up.
I don't like that.
Why don't you roll... Oh, you don't have your character sheet up, do you?
Excuse me? No, I don't have a character sheet. Sorry.
It's okay.
Not prepared.
It's okay.
The reaction I gave was probably the same one that Lettie would give as well.
You're Claire.
Excuse me. I don't even know. I'm so groggy, I don't even know who I am. Claire.
Roll a perception check. You got a +1 on perception.
Ah. Okay.
Just keep them all in there. They don't need to come out.
15.
Plus 1.
16.
Looking around, all you see is Zuzu. But there is an entryway. There is a passage on the southern side of the chamber. But it does sound like the voice is closer.
Well, I guess the first thing I'm gonna do is scoop up Zuzu because I don't want this mysterious figure voice to reach my Pokemon.
Before you do, you hear, Claire, come on, we gotta go.
Who are you?
You ask.
Yeah.
You're joking, right? You're not being serious.
Yeah, I'm being serious. I'm very confused right now. Where's Lettie and where's Willy?
How the hell should I know? I woke up and they were gone.
Please don't tell me that's the voice of my sweet Zuzu.
You turn Zuzu around in your hands, and Zuzu looks at you and says, Claire, we really have to go. You're going to use your Alolan feat, which is talking to Pokemon. You woke up and you can talk to Zuzu.
I think I cry a little bit. My sweet Zuzu. Not the voice I imagined.
Zuzu kind of perks up as a tear rolls down your face and says, Claire, there's no need to cry. Come on.
Off the record, what does he sound like Philippines?
It's a girl. Zuzu's
Why
a
does
girl.
she sound like Phil from Hercules?
Because I thought
Ow.
since, like, no joke, since you chose the Alolan race, and it was like, you can talk to Pokemon, I was like, well, Zuzu's gonna have a man's voice. And I've been dying for you to just be like, I want to have a conversation with Zuzu, or like find a way for you to be like, I'm gonna talk to Zuzu now, and you hadn't done it. So when we were doing this episode and I was writing it up, Lettie's storyline got written first because it was already part of the storyline and it was supposed to happen anyway. Yours was the second one because I was just like, well, Claire's obviously gonna have to talk to Zuzu, and he's obviously gonna have to be a man, or she. It is still a she. I'm thinking I have more of the Dr. Girlfriend from Venture Bros in mind. Anyways, so you and Zuzu are just there. Do you want to address Zuzu at all, or are you just gonna like accept the fact that she's talking to you right now?
You know what? Everything's so wild right now. I think I'm just going to take Zuzu's advice right now and just head out. I'm gonna head towards the exit.
Alright, so you head towards the exit. And Zuzu is kind of like softly bobbing in your arms.
God.
As you're walking down this this passageway, it's very, very narrow. Beforehand, it was very, very wide. The three of you could walk side by side and have plenty of room. Now you're down to one person hallway. And it's really odd. The lights in this passageway are completely bright. They are completely fully lit. And you're walking. What? Again, do you have any questions for Zuzu? You don't want to talk to Zuzu at all? I mean, now's your chance. You have the chance to talk to Zuzu.
I mean, I guess I'll start off by saying, I think Claire would be like, you guys should give Claire a voice.
You could, yeah. I mean, typically it's just your voice. I mean, well, it doesn't have to be. Never mind.
Maybe I could be like, I think Claire would say like, okay, I understand that usually I can talk to my Pokemon, but this is kind of wild, because usually I'm the one who initiates it. How are you talking to me right now?
As your Achok, we have a special bond. You already know that. And,
yeah.
I think because of, times of great distress, I am able to initiate it. And you have to understand, I know this because I'm omniscient. But I only get an hour of this a day. And actually, you haven't utilized this at all. So I'm definitely going to use as much of this hour as I can.
Okay, well, why do we have to leave so quickly? Is something chasing us, or?
Lettie and Willy are gone. I assumed you probably wanted to go ahead and find them.
I mean, yes, but things are just kind of wild right now.
Zuzu's still bobbing, just kind of passively in your arms.
I guess I just woke up. You're talking. You have a deep, rattly voice for a girl. Things are just kind of crazy right now.
What do you mean? I have a deep voice for a girl.
You don't hear it?
I do not understand. No.
Okay, let's just keep going. Don't worry about it.
This is what every Azurill sounds like that I know.
You sound beautiful, Zuzu.
Damn straight, I know what. You're disrupted by a very mournful cry. You hear a whimper from up the passageway.
Gosh, we better hurry then.
All right, you're gonna hurry ahead?
Yeah.
So you start running. You start, picking up speed.
Mm-hmm.
And the path is kind of winding, and why don't you roll we're gonna do a dexterity saving throw.
What's my dexterity? Mine's 0. 10.
You come around a corner, and you don't really kick it. It's not like you're kicking something, but you definitely, your shin bumps into a Growlithe.
Oh.
And it whimpers as you run into it. And there are 2 other Growliths there, and the other 2 turn. Actually, all 3 of them turn at you and growl at you.
Oh my goodness. Let me roll a. Let me roll animal handling.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to show them that I'm not a problem.
Roll. Let's roll a charisma roll.
Oh, that's a good idea. Oof. Not good. What is my charisma?
+1.
7.
You just kind of hold your hands up and you're just like, okay, I'm sorry that I ran into you. The Growlith that you ran into snaps at you.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Zuzu, is there any way... Are you able to talk to other Pokemon that aren't, rules?
Zuzu gives you this very incredulous look and is like, yeah, I can talk to other Yes, what?
Okay, I don't need the tune, Missy. Do you think that you could tell these Growliths that we mean no harm and maybe ask them what's wrong?
Alright, Zuzu will roll a charisma.
Oh, shit. Zuzu, you burn
Put it back down here. You can... Yeah, there you go. That way you can actually read it.
10.
And 11. Yeah, Zuzu is able to just kind of be like, hey, the Growlith's getting really good. He's kind of just like, hey, oh, you know what? I have a great idea. I could start rolling for Zuzu. That'd be actually really cool.
Oh my
okay.
God.
Anyways, he's just kind of like, Growlith. And, by the way, canon to this series, I hate that in Pokemon, that they just say their names. So Pokemon don't do that. But Azurill thinks that he can pass off, or she can pass that off. And she does. The Growliths kind of stand down. They still have like this angry face on. Like they're still kind of hesitant. Hold on. Where'd your sister go? Get out.
Cats are being crazy.
The cups are disbalanced again.
Whoops.
Okay, so the Growliths stand down, but they're still kind of they still seem pretty angry, and at this time, that's interesting. Oh, I see what I did. Never mind. You hear that whimper again. It's louder. It's much louder now. You're getting closer to whatever it might be. And
Oh, I thought it was coming from the Growliths.
no, it appears not. The Growliths, you can see them react to it, but they don't let their eyes leave you. They stay watching you pretty steadily.
I need to let the Growliths pass. Let me pass so I can get to that whimpering.
Are you saying this out loud, or are you just
Kind of thinking it out loud. I mean, because I'm assuming that, like, if I just try to go, that they might,
nip at you? Zuzu says, do you want me to say something to them?
Yes, please tell them that we're just trying to get to that whimpering. We don't mean any harm. No!
Maybe I shouldn't roll for Zuzu. Zuzu, how's this gonna work? Yeah, Zuzu just goes, hey, move. We need to get through. And when he says this, the Growlithe, or she, it's so hard to not misgender her right now.
Don't you dare misgender my H-Hawk.
The Growlithe go back to the attack stance and they're growling again.
God damn it.
Why don't you roll now you can roll your animal handling to try to see if you can convince them otherwise.
It was a 19.
That was a 19. Plus 3, so you really do well. Alright, what do you say to the Growlithe to let them through?
I'm so sorry that I bumped into you. I hear a whimpering and I'm trying to get to it because I think it might be a Pokemon in danger. Please let us pass safely.
When you say a Pokemon in danger, the Growlithe kind of prance excitedly in the spot, and their ears are down. They are obviously in a more relaxed state, and they rush off towards the sound.
Oh, perfect. Well, then we follow them.
All right. So you're running down, and you enter into a large cavern. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to use this. And inside is a... Ew, what's just fell on me? Inside this cavern, there's a group of Pokemon surrounding a large rock pile. Another rock slide has happened inside, or like a cave-in has happened, and underneath all the rubble is a giant Pokemon.
Oh my goodness.
Let me find a good picture. Which picture do you want to focus on? I guess we'll just use the normal picture. And you see it's a Drampa.
Oh no. I'm assuming that that's the Pokemon that's whimpering.
Yeah. As you walk up to, or as you walk into it, you can hear it. It's giving out these like kind of quiet whimpers, and every once in a while it gives out a really, really loud whimper.
Well, first I should probably assess the situation.
All right. Roll a perception check.
17.
17. Plus 1. So 18. So it seems that the Drampa was just trying to like move through this area and was caught by surprise when the rock slide hit. Only I'd say like its head, the neck and head, and like I guess these are flippers is what Drampa has. I guess, I do not know. God, that one even has fingers. But like one of his flippers is out. But the majority of his body is left under the rumble. Looking around, you see... You don't even have your notebook. Yeah, maybe. Because you're going to have to tell everything that happens to Lettie and Willy later. Okay. You can use my notebook for that. And write down what you want, and I'm going to go fast through this because I'm not trying to be nice. I'll let you write Drampa down, though.
Okay. Alright.
You see 3 Growlithe, 2 Geodudes, a Diglett, a Nosepass, a Weezing, and 3 Baltoys.
Okay, 3 Growlithe, 2 Geodudes.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
1 Diglett.
1 Diglett.
1 Nosepass.
1 Nosepass.
1 Weezing, and 3 Baltoys.
And 2?
3.
3 Baltoys.
And you don't necessarily recognize every single one of these Pokemon. You just identify that they are Pokemon that are around.
What do Baltoys look like?
And that's exactly why I'm saying that, because I'm not going to let you know what a Baltoy is unless you want to do a perception check or something.
I would.
We'll do an animal handling. Is that what we've been doing for identifying Pokemon or investigation? Let's do investigation.
I mean, either way, I got a 1.
Okay, you have no earthly clue what a Baltoy is, but you definitely know whatever this Pokemon is. There are 3 of them.
Okay, well, we should... So the first course of action that we're going to definitely need to do is we're going to need to get that Drampa out from under the Rebel, but I know that I am not going to be able to do it by myself. Okay. Zuzu, do you think that you could talk to these other Pokemon and see if they are willing to help us get the Drampa out from under this Rebel?
Just from looking around, you definitely could tell that they are panicking and they want to help this Drampa, but have not really figured anything out. So.
Okay, well, first, let's calm the crowd. I don't know how I would do that.
How about a performance roll? Or, performance.
7.
You try to calm the crowd, but they don't really do anything. They're not... they're really not even listening to you. But Zuzu is able to call out. She goes, "Hey, hey, hey!" And that's all she needs to say because she rolled really, really well on that. And all the Pokemon kind of turn and look, and they're kind of desperate. They look a little desperate, but they look willing to listen.
Okay, so what we need to do is we probably need to move the rubble off of the Drampa first, because if we try and pull it out, then it'll probably hurt it more. So I tell all of them, I need you all to start gently, carefully moving the rubble off of that Drampa.
Zuzu translates, and the Pokemon start going to work. One of the Geodudes moves a rock, though, and a few more rocks slide down from the top.
Dang.
But he was pulling from the bottom row.
So we need to make sure that we're pulling from the top. I don't know.
Maybe tell them.
Okay, I tell them to make sure that they're taking the rubble off from the top first. We want to work from the top and then make our way down.
Alright. Roll animal handling for that.
Okay. Why do I get such stressful situations? Damn, why am I rolling so badly?
Use the other D20. Not now, because you already rolled that. What was it, 4?
Yeah.
Plus 3. The Geodudes kind of hover. I guess they don't really always hover, but they kind of like bounce up to the top and they start moving rocks out of the way. Meanwhile, all of the other Pokemon are still just sitting there kind of not really understanding. Just kind of expectantly waiting. As the Geodudes move some of the rocks on top, you can see a noticeably large boulder that they're kind of uncovering. It looks like it's going to be too much for the Geodudes to move.
But probably not too much for the nose pass.
Um,
I've seen nose passes before. Huge as fuck.
He's only like 3 feet tall, actually.
Oh!
I think it's even that. But you've got that wheezing.
Trying to remember what wheezing looks like.
He's coughing his evolution. James used to have wheezing.
What could he do?
He can float. why don't you look at... You've got a traveler's pack, like you have a bag full of things, and in that is a rope.
Oh.
I don't want to be just telling you how to do this, but...
Well, I didn't know I had a rope in my traveler's pack. I'm going to write that down. I have a rope.
I'm going to have to give you guys a better... Because look, you have your backpack.
Claire sees that she has a rope for the first time and her mind's just blown. She's like, oh my god.
Yeah, actually, you know what? We'll just retcon that Zuzu was the one who told you that so that I don't feel as bad being the DM telling you how to solve my own puzzle.
I'm sorry.
But how about this? You will do a... Make a survival.
Oh god.
No, you have proficiency in it, so that's good. That's a 12.
Sure no.
What's your 20? Oh, you got mentioned. Oh no, that's right. Alright. Do a survival check.
7.
Jeez Louise. You're rolling not so good tonight.
It's my fault.
You kind of sling the rope around the Weasley. The Weezing.
Which Weasley is it?
You sling the rope around the Weezing a couple times. It's not like any kind of like fancy knot or anything, but you definitely got it. What are you gonna tell him?
Okay. Have I attached the rope to the boulder?
No, the boulder's way up high.
Well, shit.
Won't be. I mean, the Weezing's probably smart enough to. I don't know. You try it.
Okay, I tell them that we're going to try and get this rope around the boulder, and I'm going to need you guys to pull and try and pull the boulder off.
Let's roll animal handling.
Shit. Come on, give me a good one. Let's do it. Good one for Mama. 10.
Okay, so Weezing flies up there and it is trying to figure out how to put the boulder into or connect it to the ropes or anything, and it's kind of confused. And that's when the Baltoy, they all kind of look at each other and they start spinning in place. And when they do that, they kind of hum and they kind of glow, and the rock levitates just enough that it falls into like the cross hangings of the rope on the Weezing, and the Weezing is able to move the boulder.
Yay!
The Geodudes continue to move the rocks out of the way, and there's another sudden kind of shaking. The ground starts shaking all around you. There's that vibrating again. Oddly enough, though, the lights aren't flickering this time. It's really just... That doesn't seem right. But the ground is shaking, and as this happens, a stalactite falls from the ceiling, and it's heading towards one of the Geodudes.
Oh my god. I mean, all I can think about is for you to tell him to move. Or is there anything Zuzu could do?
When you have all of these Pokemon at your kind of disposal right now.
The Baltoys were able to make stuff hover, right?
They are helping. This is all kind of happening at the same time. So the Weezing and the Baltoys are kind of preoccupied. and the Geodudes are working on moving the rocks around the boulder.
Maybe would it be possible for Zuzu to use water gun and knock it out of the way? I don't know, cause like I don't know who else would do anything, cause Diglett can't do shit, cause it's a Diglett, and I don't know what Nosepass could do.
Well, remember Nosepass could just like phase through walls, basically. You saw that earlier. Also, there's no Diglett.
You said there was a Diglett.
There's no Diglett.
You lied to me. How dare you? You said.
Maybe it wasn't a lie.
Someone re-roll that clip. But Homer. DM says there's a Diglett. That's so weird. Where did it go?
That's not the first Diglett you've run into, remember?
That's right. Don't like that. I'm gonna put now missing question marks. I don't see how Nosepass facing through walls could help us at this point.
I'm really being nice too, because that stalactite should have hit.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. It's one of those things where it's like it's frozen in time as I choose a decision.
Yeah, so, but choose a decision. Yeah, go ahead and choose something. Geodude's probably not, if you call out to Geodude, it's going to react as in, it's going to look at you and then it's going to look up and get hit. So, you've got the Growliths, you've got the Nosepass, and you've got Zuzu. Those are all possibilities right now. Pick one that your heart is set on.
My heart is set on having Zuzu do water gun because maybe we can knock the stalactite out of the way as it's falling. Water gun's pretty powerful, isn't it?
I mean, I guess. I can't really say one.
You're stressing me out.
No, I'm sorry. Do this. Roll a. We're gonna do a strength contest. So roll a d20, and you're gonna add his saving throw, his strength saving throw.
Oh my god. What's his strength saving?
It's +2.
7.
Zuzu shoots out a blast of water, and the stalactite cuts right through the water.
Oh my fucking god. Oh.
But when she does that, that's what the Geodude, being afraid of water because it's weak to water, looks to see where the water is going and sees the stalactite and can move out of the way in enough time.
Okay. Thanks for giving me that pity.
Yeah. I don't want anyone getting hurt. Although this, like, Drampa is obviously in a crappy position. Alright, so,
We suck at this.
you're just having bad rules, that's all.
Don't text while we're doing something.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Rude.
It's funny, though.
Wow. I'm sitting over here struggling.
Oh my god. Okay, well, you're not doing anything. You're just complaining about it. So Drampa's still underneath all these rocks.
Well, I guess let's just keep working. I mean, I don't know.
This is taking a while. This is kind of working. And you still got, like, the Weezing and the Baltoys are kind of working together to move some big rocks out of the way. You still got the Nosepass and the Growliths not doing anything.
Maybe the Nosepass and the Growliths can work towards trying to get the Drampa out from under the rubble, like, maybe, like, see if we can get him loose.
Sure. So, are the Growliths the ones that are going to be kind of like pulling him out? What do you want the nose pass to do? Is really what I'm asking you. I really just want to know what nose pass is doing.
Why? Yeah, I imagine the Growliths would be doing the pulling. Maybe the nose pass can be kind of like doing a little, a little motion to make sure that the rocks don't fall on him.
Okay, so you're supporting the rocks.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay, let's do animal handling again.
Okay.
+3.
Don't give me a shitty one. 11.
Okay.
It's better.
So let's figure this out then. So Nosepass walks over and he has a good positioning on the rocks and is holding up the rocks. How are the Growliths going to pull the Drampa out? Are they just going to bite him and pull him, or?
That's a very good question. By one rope is being used.
Well, you could take it back. You can get back. No, I'm being serious. I mean,
okay. Well, I give the ropes to the Growliths, and we kind of tie it around the Drampa, not so like we strangle him.
Why not? It's more like a tug of war. So.
Oh, that's what I was thinking too. Like, put the rope in the Growlith's mouth. Put the rope in the Drampa's mouth.
Yeah. So they're doing a little tug of war. They're pulling out.
Mm-hmm.
The nose pass is holding that up. He's holding it steady, and the Geodudes are throwing the
rocks.
The smaller rocks out of the way, and now that the Battle Toys are not preoccupied, they're helping the nose pass kind of move the rocks, and they're weaker Pokemon, but they're getting the job done, and with some determination, you see his little paw thing push against the ground, and he pushes himself out of the rubble, and gets out of the rubble. He's completely uncovered. When he comes out, he's lifting his head to kind of get himself out, and the second they get him out, he drops his head against the ground and gives off another whimper. And you look on him, and he's got scars and bruises all over him.
Oh my goodness. I take it I don't have any like medicine in my bag, do I?
Let's say when you were walking through the Blue Woods, you picked up a couple of herbs, a couple of leaves, and just because that's what you do, you're a nurse, or you're focused on the medical, so you were just picking up things anyway. That sounds like Claire, so you'd probably just pick up crap. So let's roll a medicine.
Leaves and crap.
Just leaves and other shitty.
Shit. What is wrong with me today? 8.
8 total?
Yeah.
I
probably know what it is. It's probably all these other dice that are in the box.
So you try applying some of the medicine, but the Drampa really isn't feeling it. And Zuzu says, "Hey, we're trying to help you. Look, it's not going to be comfortable, I promise. I know. But let us help. Why don't
I roll an animal handling and try and calm the Drampa first?
Okay,
so
sure.
It can feel better.
Hi, Spud.
This is our grandpa.
Yeah, look at our
His
grandpa.
name is Spud. She trying to bite your arm.
Yes.
Oh my god. Hold on. Sorry. I'm pulling up my hair.
Where's your sister?
She's down there. She's like right next to you. Other side.
No. I wonder what you're looking at, Spud.
Let's see. That was a good one.
It was +3.
14.
17.
Yeah.
Right. You calm him down. He's in fact, like, he's so exhausted from this whole ordeal that he I'm assuming maybe you're like brushing his head.
Yeah.
So he kind of just slumps into your arms.
Oh, that's so
And he's
cute.
got a big ass head. So
That's
so
so cute. This guy.
Zuzu says, hey, I think I have something that might help. And he's gonna use water sport and
Water sport.
Zuzu tries her best and she generates a lot of water, and you can see that her tail, the ball at the end of her tail that she's bouncing on, is just full of water, and she starts bouncing on the Drampa, and it's kind of stamping on the parts that are bruised.
Wow, that's amazing, Zuzu. Good thinking.
And as this is happening, it definitely seems to be healing. It definitely seems to be helping. And after some time of working on it, the Drampa again kind of raises its head and it cries out, but this time it's a little more comfortable, and it's a little more soothing. And it brushes its head up against you in kind of appreciation. Okay, stop. Messing with the cat. Because she'll scratch you.
She already did.
Yeah, I know. The Drampa brushes its head up against you.
That was awesome, Zuzu. Good thinking. I'm very impressed.
Zuzu is definitely full of herself right now. she's loving the attention.
Well, I also give the little Drampa a little pat.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely happy with
Yay.
you. And he pushes up against the ground to try to lift himself up, and almost immediately falls back down, and kind of gives a snort of disapproval, like he seems pretty annoyed with himself.
Well, I tell him, not to push himself. You're just under a crap load of rocks.
Roll a persuasion. Yeah, let's do persuasion.
Probably is fully. Your body's probably jelly right now. A 9.
He shakes his head in approval, or he nods in approval, and kind of slowly picks himself up this time, but falls back down. And you can see the other Pokemon are now kind of circling in on him, and they're all looking kind of expectingly at him and at you, kind of looking back and forth.
Can I do a... maybe like a perception or an investigation?
What are you trying to do?
I don't know. I'm trying to... what's something I could do? Because he's probably weak.
I think... So... Metagaming. Drampa's natural habitat is not a cave. It likes to be out in the open.
That's what I That's what I was thinking. So we need to get him out.
Right. But you know those caverns that you just were walking through were really, really tight. So it's not like you're going to like easily just get him outside. But you've got all these Pokemon here at your disposal, and they're all willing to help you and to help Drampa.
Well, Nosepass can make ways through walls, right?
Yeah, he walks through mountain, yeah, basically.
Oh, I thought he could, like, make holes through the walls.
Hey, psst. I knew she was gonna chew on that. Yes, he can make nose pass size holes.
Probably not big enough for a Drampa.
No.
Well, if we can't get him, is there any other path, or is it just the one we came through?
It's hard to tell with the cave-in what exactly the path looks like.
And I can't do like a perception or something like that, or investigation.
You can do a perception check. Play as lands. Just kidding.
I didn't even roll it.
Ooh.
Heck yeah, it's about friggin' time. 14.
You can tell that the other Pokemon want to help still, and they're trying to help, and they know that they could share their energy with Drampa. Not like that. Like spiritual energy. Like they again, I don't want to just flat out say it. You did a good enough roll. They don't know how to encourage Drampa to get up. Piper just scared the crap out of me. They're trying to encourage him though, but they don't know what exactly they need to do to encourage him.
I was going to suggest, well, we can't, but he can't go through the pathway, because I was going to suggest that so the Pokemon pick him up and we could just kind of carry him out.
They probably couldn't. This group probably couldn't.
You said something about sharing energy.
Yeah, they're trying to, like, root him on.
I don't know.
Why don't you roll a performance check?
These are so hard. 13.
So you're like, you call out and you're like, Drampa, you can do it, and you just start like a slow clap, and as you look around to the other Pokemon, although really
They can't clap.
only 3 of them can't clap, but they do. The Geodudes and the Nose Pass start clapping.
The other two probably just chant.
The rest of them are, they're kind of bouncing in place. So they're bouncing in time, and they're kind of crying out to the Drampa. And as this is happening, everyone's bouncing, everyone's getting excited. The Drampa, he looks like, bless you, he looks like he's lower than he had been before. Mm-hmm. And with a great push, he pushes himself up, and he gives out this mighty roar, and bless you. And he seems extremely happy. He seems extremely confident again, and definitely looks like he's smiling. And he has kind of a cocky smile, and everything. And he looks down at you, and he again kind of he bumps his head against you in appreciation. And all the other Pokemon are really, really happy. They're all really excited for you. And Drampa turns around and he's looking at the rock pile, and when he does this, he kind of shifts his body in a way that like opens up his back to you, and he kind of notions down at his back.
Ah, hell yeah, we gonna spirit away.
Yes.
This bitch.
Alright, do you want to get on?
Well, yes, but first I thank all the Pokemon.
Oh, they really appreciate that, and they're all cheering for you too, because you've been really good.
Even though I'm struggling to figure out these puzzles.
What are you doing, Spud? You get on Drampa's back, and he lets out another roar, this crazy roar, and when he does, the rocks kind of like Moses part. And you see this cavern, which has caved in, was actually sort of like a canyon, like the middle of a canyon between two mountains. And the rocks from the mountains kind of just caved in. And so now there's just an open path up into the sky. And he does this kind of like, like a seal when they do that, kind of like they're like doing the worm. He does that like once, twice, and on the third time he pushes off the ground and shoots up into the sky. And you hold on to him, and he kind of does like a spin into the sky, and then he passes the mountains. And he's flying up above the mountains. You know what this is? No, it's not fucking Spirited Away. It's Never Ending Story.
Never Ending Story.
He fucking looks like Valcor. He
does.
Or whatever. Anyways, that's perfect. So you're like, yeah.
It freeze frames and the credits
yeah.
roll.
And as he's flying, Zuzu asks, "Hey, buddy, what caused the cave-in? Why were you down there like that?" And when Zuzu asks this, Drampa kind of does a spin, kind of like a barrel roll, this big roll, and starts flying south, and it cries out, and
I think Claire kind of pukes in her mouth after he does
that. He's already got his neck all extended, but he kind of notions, and in the southern parts of the mountain, kind of hidden right between all the mountains, you see a giant silver dome. Of course, from this distance, you're way up high in the sky, but you see this giant silver dome, sparkling, flashing in the on the ground. Even from this height and this distance, looking down at it, it's like very, very intimidating to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And the flashing is so intense from the sun's reflection that it is very blinding just to look at. It's just this crazy, crazy contraption.
What is that?
Do you want to ask him?
Yeah.
Well, Zuzu, I'm assuming you probably want Zuzu to like translate or something.
Yeah.
Roll a. How about this? Let's do this. Let's roll a D12. Let's do something different.
A D12?
Yeah, that one. Mm-hmm.
11.
Okay. Drampa's probably a wise Pokemon, I would say. Zuzu asks Drampa what it is, and Drampa gives a very long response. You hear him,
Drampa.
doesn't fucking say Drampa. But you hear him talking for a good while, and then Zuzu translates and says, "It's some kind of white coat facility. No one's been there for months, though. They all moved deep into the mountains. But they're the reason why that dome is the reason why there are light bulbs all through the caves, and it's also the reason why the light bulbs are going out.
Huh. Really?
Drampa kind of cries again. And
Like that. I imagine that's what he'd sound like.
oh, where's my let me see this real quick,
Hey.
because I need a note. I don't think it's in here. Hold on 1 second. I need to grab that. Hold on.
And pause. Spud. Oh. Boop, 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 boop.
Okay, so Drampa cries again, and Zuzu says that whatever that thing is, it's what drove off the Wikinya tribe. And there's Wikinya, if you want to write that down. What the hell?
Wakinya.
Mom sent me something crazy. I can't wait to show you it in a second.
The real one's done?
Yeah.
Oh. So I guess we aren't gonna check out the dome.
No, that's next episode. But you're still writing on Drampa. Do you want to ask him any more questions, or?
Yeah, I want to ask Drampa where he was. Well, really, I want to know how that dome caused the landslide for him to get stuck under. I know that he said that it's because the lights were flickering. So is there is it because the dome? Because now I'm thinking if the dome is what's causing the flickering lights and the earthquake, is it causing vibrations, like tremors?
He shakes his head no.
Okay. Well, I mostly just give him a pat because I'm happy that he's feeling better.
Zuzu says, "Are you done with Drampa?
Yeah.
You don't have any more questions? You can ask him. I'll give you a couple more questions if you want."
I mean, I can't really think of anything else I would ask him. Maybe besides where he's heading off to.
Well, he lives in the mountains. And Zuzu tells you, he's like, he's going back home. He just got trapped in that little space accidentally.
Will I ever see you again, Mr. Drampa?
He what sound does he make?
He makes the sound. He goes,
yeah, he's Chewbacca, but he makes happy Chewbacca noise. He's like, Zuzu says, Claire, I know this is great. We're loving this, but we definitely have to get back to trying to find Lettie and Willy.
Yes, right, of course.
And Zuzu says to Drampa, "Look, we need to know where that passageway led out so that we can hopefully find our friends again." And
Zuzu's more responsible than I am.
when he says this, Drampa kind of nods and gives like a understanding, like okay, and lets out a magnificent roar. It's this crazy, beautiful dragon roar, and it just, you can hear it echoing all through the all through the mountains and everything. And you're so taken aback by this, like you're so enthralled by this, that when he takes a nosedive straight towards the ground, you don't realize what's happening at first. And it takes you a second, and suddenly it hits you that you are speeding towards the ground.
Oh, God.
And you let out a scream and close your eyes, and you just feel him flap his wings, I say?
His flippers.
He flaps and stops on a dime, and you don't lurch or anything. You don't feel that stop. He stops beautifully and lands in a small clearing in front of a entry into the caves. And as you jump off of him, you can hear someone running at you. You hear 3 sets of footsteps running towards you.
3. Oh, well, I imagine I wouldn't hear 4 because one doesn't have legs.
Well, at least you knew. And as you stand there, Lettie, Willy, and Macho come out of the caverns. Looking at them, Lettie is super happy to see you. Obviously, she's smiling. Claire is seemingly happy to see you too, and Willy and Macho's got a big scratch on him.
Ooh.
And Willy and Macho both are just covered in dirt. But they seem pretty happy to see you too. And when you look down, Zuzu is jumping really, really happy, excitedly to see all of her friends. And kind of looks up at you expectantly. And do you have anything to say to Zuzu?
Well, I tell her that she did amazing. And I say, go run to your friends.
She looks up at you and she opens her mouth, but only squeals of excitement come out.
Aww.
And you realize it's your time of understanding her has been up for now. But you get to do that once a day, so use it again so that we can. And please, use
I prefer the squeeze. Oh, hold on. I turn to a drama and I have a little, spirit away moment. We touch our heads together and like see you again.
And then he bursts into a million feathers and disappears. No,
and it's a man.
No, he
it's a white coat disguised as a tramp.
Exactly. He again belly flops on the ground twice and then shoots up off into the air.
Goodbye, Grandpa. It's like the goodbye Butterfree episode.
And you know what? I'll frame this perfectly, and we'll start that. We'll start right here in the next episode. But as we zoom out of this little gathering, everyone's happy together. Just beyond the ridge is a glare, and it's a reflection of the sun. Next chapter, or next episode is going to be our first gym.